Up front tonight, sex at a bar. This comes in Corpus Christi after 2 people were caught having sex in a bar, which was unacceptable behavior. And it was a video that captured. It was a viral video, and as Lexus Green tells us, it's unacceptable behavior. But before we get into that, this is something that I don't want to tolerate ever. It's unacceptable behavior. That video was viral, and the police, and during that time, the police were aware that the video had been circulating and not determine what action, if any, should be taken. Like, what action should be taken? Here's Lexus Green.
At the top tonight, a video that we will not show due to indecency, but that has now been shared thousands of times on social media. Cell phone video depicting 2 people engaging in a sexual act in public at a local bar.
Our Lexus Green has a report in tonight's top story.
The video is said to have been taken here at this bar, The Social, and after it was posted to social media, the bar did make a statement on their Facebook page.
Reading in part, in light of the actions of a few, we at The Social 110% do not condone nor tolerate this kind of behavior. The bar also posted a picture of new signage on their patio that makes it clear no sex is allowed. We spoke with Corpus Christi police, who explained the act caught on camera is public lewdness, which according to Penal Code 2107 is defined as engaging in a sex act and to be reckless about whether a person watching would be offended. Officials say it's not illegal to record this act due to the fact it was not done in a private setting. However, police say public lewdness is a Class A misdemeanor, which comes with a possible fine or up to 2 years in jail.
We did not identify the 2 in the video due to the fact that they have not been charged. Police have been made aware of this video that is circulating, but have not determined what action, if any, will be taken. Lexus Green, 3 News.
That's unacceptable behavior. Something I will not tolerate. And if I were to see that, I just basically will call the police. Not videotape it, call the police. Basically what would happen is if I saw that, again, I call the police. I wouldn't be sitting there. Because as a bystander, what you need to do is make sure that you do it, and you take action. You don't stand back, press record, post it on YouTube, and then expect to make a lot of money. Unacceptable behavior. Much as what happened yesterday in freaking Seattle. When I first saw this, I was like, freaking bike riding in the nude? Give me a break. You don't do that. And she was like, it's an annual thing in Seattle. Okay, well, if it's an annual thing in Seattle, public unity is strictly the law. Indecent exposure. I mean, in the United States, it refers to the content undertaken in non-private or some jurisdictions, publicly available location, which is deemed an instinct nature. The issue traces back to the 1870s and December 1874, which reads, and even the laws. State law prohibited exposure to the genitals and or the female nipples in a public place. So other states, simple nudity is illegal. But what about in Texas, Arizona? What about the public nuisance law? in Arizona. That's the public nuisance law. And I'm like, yes, it's an annual thing in Seattle, but it's in violation of the public nuisance law. Any person who knowingly maintains, commits public nuisance, who knowingly fails to refuse to perform an illegal duty related to removal of the public nuisance is guilty of a Class 2 misdemeanor. And in these cases, these guys that did it, they may be guilty. And here's what I have to say to her. That's what I have to say. That's in violation of the public nuisance law. Any building used to private... That's the law. And in Texas, same thing. It's illegal. What is the State Public Nuisance under Arizona law? Per ARS 132917, public nuisance any behavior results in one or more of the following outcomes: community injury to death. Section 30342.004 Texas Health Safety Code, giving the authority to make blaze law or landowner's property free. I mean, it's against the law. I mean, those people don't even give a crap. If it's an annual thing, well, they broke the law. And I would like for people to be arrested. And the person who made that video, I'd like for that person to delete that video or face jail time. If it ever happens again, I'll have the person arrested. Okay. Alright. Enough of the nudity. Next, there was a protest here at Rodfield about the Union Express concerns, and they're calling for a change. Also in the court in Nuisance County Jail, there's a 99% capacity, and it's now reaching 100%. What they're doing, and what the Nuisance County is doing. And also the gun laws in Texas. It was passed, and now we're going to tell you the new bill next. Today in Rockville, there was a protest. That expressed concerns, and now they're calling for a change. And all the hospitals spent this evening calling for a change, including right here in Corpus Christi. What are those changes? Take a look.
Hospitals spent this evening are calling for change in action, including right here in Corpus Christi.
Our Julissa Garza was there and has a closer look for us tonight.
Our contract reunion, and the reason we're out here is mainly staffing, meal breaks.
Nurses with National Nurses United, their family members and friends gathered this afternoon wanting to be heard.
You've got hungry nurses who are overworked, dealing with the stress and trauma of a pandemic, and they're feeling like, okay, this is how you're going to treat us.
Kimberly Smith is an ICU nurse and has been serving the Coastal Bend for 23 years, and she says the pandemic has taken a toll on many nurses, which is why they're asking HCA, a healthcare company that owns Corpus Christi Medical Center, for changes to be made.
And if you truly do care like family, that caring needs to show every day in the way that we are staffed and the resources we have. And that way we can give that care that we want to our community, which deserves that care.
Smith says they'll be meeting at the negotiation table on June 30th and are hoping to be heard.
It's been traumatic for us, going through the pandemic.
And to be valued more moving forward.
This is an opportunity for HCA to step up and show value and respect for the nurses and just go into the contract negotiation knowing what we have gone through during the pandemic.
We reached out to Corpus Christi Medical Center and they released a statement saying in part, "We understand that this kind of picketing activity sometimes occurs when a union and an employer are engaged in negotiations for a contract, as we are with this union, and that they're focused on recruiting and engaging their workforce." Jalissa Garza, 3 News.
Okay. But now I'm going to read you the full statement. This is a merely form of demonstration that the union is legally allowed to do. We want the public to be assured that the Corpus Christi Medical Center continues to provide a high-quality patient care that is always provided, even recently receiving health grades, quality, and leapfrog patient safety awards. Like many other health organizations with the country, we are focused on recruiting, retaining, and engaging other workforce, evidenced by our recent above-average engagement scores, in addition to promoting college nursing colleagues. And June 30th, the negotiation table will be met, and I hope they probably get what they deserved. Now into Nuisance County, where the jail is nearing inmate capacity. 89 murder suspects are under the care of the staff penitentiary. What else can be done now that now it's going high?
Sleeping made my anxiety worse. It held me in that sad place.
Top tonight, the Nuisance County Sheriff is speaking out about the jail being at near full capacity and how it could result in a failed jail inspection.
That's right. Sheriff Hooper tells our Bill Churchwell that he believes the court system, which is back to conducting some in-person jury trials, needs to speed up the process in order to help relieve the strain the jail is experiencing. But what do the judges have to say about that? We find out in our top story tonight.
Sheriff Hooper taking to social media to state that his staff is dealing with a penitentiary-type atmosphere, with 89 murder suspects under their care, still waiting for their day in court. 1,700 days. That is how long the man seen here, Joseph Tejeda, a murder suspect in the 2016 killing of Brianna Wood, has remained behind bars waiting for trial. He's one of more than 1,100 inmates currently putting the Nuisance County Jail at near max capacity.
The reason for this 99% jail population and the fact that we've been over 90% now for months is because the courts aren't moving.
Sheriff J.C. Hooper tells me he is hopeful of the court system that was brought to a halt during the COVID-19 pandemic can now catch up to get trials heard. Courts in Nuisance County returned to in-person hearings about a month and a half ago.
That's a lot of victims, but more importantly, that's a lot of victims' families that deserve closure. And these cases need to be heard.
I am definitely trying to move the in-jail criminal docket as much as possible and make it a priority.
Presiding Judge Anna Klein of the 214th District Court says since their return, judges have worked on every kind of case, including 5 jury trials. Here's a copy of Monday's docket on her desk.
27 cases, I believe, and they're all in-jail cases.
Judge Klein tells me while jury trials are possible, they are still very difficult to hold. For example, judges have tried to speed up the process by pairing up. While one judge is in a jury trial, another will hear that judge's docket.
So I understand the sheriff's frustration, and hopefully it's going to take less time if all of us work together.
The sheriff confirming to 3 News that the jail recently underwent its annual inspection last week by the Texas Commission on Jail Standards. While the commission has not yet released its findings to the public, the sheriff believes the jail will be found in non-compliance. The reason?
99%, almost all your housing bunks are full, and then you also have people in holding cell. And when those people stay in that holding cell for more than 48 hours, that is non-compliance.
If found non-compliant, Hooper says he'll have 30 days to come up with an action plan and about a year to fix it. But he says the high population of inmates is the hardest issue to tackle.
The only way you can bring the population down is by getting these cases adjudicated or moving prisoners from this facility to another county jail.
In the meantime, the sheriff credited his staff with keeping the jail safe and secure and says he's been in contact with other county jails to see if they have any beds available. Something he says isn't easy because even if they do find available beds, they'll cost money.
You're going to pay another sheriff $60, $70, $80 a day to house your inmates.
Bill Churchwell, 3 News.
Thank you, Bill. And the Texas Commission on Jail Standards tells 3 News it's anticipated the inspection report will be released by next month.
That's in July. And I really hope, he's right, we're spending our tax dollars, $80 on our tax, we're spending our tax dollars on beds. I mean, what are we going to do? Well, he's right there. He's right. We have to go to Plan B. We have to move all the other people to another county jail. Like, where? We have Orange Grove County, Brooks County. Hell, probably move them up to San Antonio. Who cares? Well, we don't want to spend $80 building another bed. And that's a waste of our money. And I don't want to have to go into tax details, but if I have to, that's another story. Stay with us for more Give Me a Break, including proposed for the People Act, which aims to expect voter access and reduce the influence of money in politics. What will happen if the federal government passes the voting law? And what if the state is flawed? We'll tell you what the state will do after this. Now the focus on For the People Act. It's also known as H.R. 1. It's a bill in the U.S. Congress intended to expand voting rights, change campaign finance laws to reduce the influence of money in politics. It was originally introduced in 2019 on behalf of the newly elected Democratic majority United States House of Representatives. The House passed the bill on March 8th by the party line vote of 234 and 193. But what happens if the federal government passes the voting law? We'll take a look.
The news, sometime this week, the U.S. Senate is expected to take a vote on the For the People Act. The legislation would require all states to offer mail-in ballots and automatic voter registration. All 50 Senate Democrats appear to have reached an agreement on the legislation, but it still faces tough opposition from Senate Republicans, where 10 votes would be required for it to pass. The Voting Rights Act, now the subject of great debate among Democrats and Republicans. Supporters of the bill say it expands voter access and reduces the influence of money in politics. Meanwhile, some critics say that it's an effort from Democrats to get more votes. Our Michael Gibson spoke with a political analyst to get his take on the proposed measure.
And because of the... Dr. Bill Chris is our political analyst and an expert on politics and elections. We asked for his opinion on the proposed federal law known as the For People Act, a bill that Democrats in the House have already passed in an effort to expand voter access and reduce the influence of money on politics.
The For the People Act is really designed to counter Republican voter suppression measures. Now, from the Republican perspective, those are not voter suppression measures, they're voter security measures.
Dr. Chris says that the For People Act is designed to make voting much easier, and because of the federal supremacy clause in the Constitution, if the federal government passes the voting law, then the states have to follow it.
Traditionally, states have managed elections, and local officials have managed elections. because it's just too complex for the federal government to get involved.
Across the country, there's been an effort by Republicans to restrict access to the ballot box following the record turnout for the November elections. Right now, Republicans control both chambers of 30 state legislatures. Our state is set to call a special session of the legislature after Democrats stopped SB 7 from being passed during the regular session. That measure would do things such as limit local officials from expanding voting options, and it would also regulate polling locations in urban areas.
I think what will happen is, I think ultimately it is inevitable that the voting restrictions that were passed in the state in one house of the state legislature, in the Senate, will pass both houses, and they will be signed by Governor Abbott.
Dr. Chris believes that once that happens, Democrats will then seek relief through the court system. Michael Gibson, 3 News.
Thank you, Michael. I sure hope that everyone gets the right to vote. It's summer right now, on all the heats, and now something really extraordinary is happening. The mayor of Corpus Christi is offering places for residents to avoid the heat this summer. That's a really great move. That's really great. We're gonna have that story for you in just a moment. Finally tonight, are you tired of the heat? Well, the mayor of Corpus Christi is offering places for residents to avoid the heat this summer. And that can be really great. Here's Channel 6 with the very latest.
And as the coastal bend deals with these high temperatures, the city of Corpus Christi announcing some relief. Our Patrick Johnstone joins us from the Ben F. McDonald Public Library, which is one of the city's cooling centers. Patrick?
Yeah, Katya, the city will have 8 cooling centers available to the public this summer. One of those actually including McDonald Library.
Yeah, it's a good thing for a lot of people. 4 senior centers and 4 public libraries will be open with various hours for residents in the area to visit to get out of the heat.
This is a blessing to have somebody cares, for the older people. I'm very happy and very thankful, to.
Additionally, the city will be teaming up with Reliant Energy for the 12th year for the Beat the Heat program, geared towards the senior population.
Since our seniors are one of the most vulnerable populations here in the city of Corpus Christi, we want to make sure that they have a safe place that they can go to get out of the heat.
3 locations are included as Beat the Heat locations: Broadmoor, Lyndale, and Oakville Williams Senior Centers, where snacks and activities will be provided for people.
We've got to have available a place for those who might not have, a cool place to stay to come and get some relief.
The program is hybrid this year, so there will also be drive-through events where people can pick up cooling devices to bring home.
We realize that the need for the keeping cool in your home is even more important, so we've increased the number of the personal cooling devices that we offer.
For more information on both of those programs, including how to get one of those personal cooling devices, head to our website, christv.com. Reporting live, Patrick Johnstone, Chris 6 News.
That's very great. That's very optimistic of the mayor to help out the seniors with the help beat the heat. I hope that all the seniors get what they deserve. And all these locations in the library. So as a final thought, what I have to say is, great job, Mayor. Great job. I really hope we can be cool this summer. That's part of our world. And that's Give Me a Break for this Hot Monday. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you on Wednesday. Courage. Good night.